Rescues at 3 o'clock. Now on BBC Two. Well, this lot are smiling now, but I think that's about to change.
I'm Les, I'm 39 years old. I work as a courier driver in Watford. I live in Shepherd's Bush.
I'm Beth, I'm 19 and a student from Birmingham.
I'm Jeff, I'm 45. I'm a police officer from South Shields and currently live in Birtley, County Durham.
I'm Lindsay, I'm 26 and I'm a college administrator from Barnsley.
I'm Karen, I'm 41, I'm a housewife from Harrogate in North Yorkshire.
I'm Ian, I'm 56, come from Dumfries and I'm currently retired.
I'm Craig from Carlisle, I'm 27 and I work in retail.
I'm Joanne, I'm 36 and I'm a word processor from West Dulwich in London.
Now the rules. In each round, the aim is to answer enough questions correctly to reach your £1,000 target within the time limit. The fastest way is to create a chain of 9 correct answers. Get your question wrong and you break the chain and lose all the money in that chain. But if you say bank before the question is asked, the money is safe. However, you start a new chain from scratch. Remember, at the end of the round, only money that has been banked can be taken forward. In round 1, there are 3 minutes on the clock. We'll start with the person whose name is first alphabetically. That's you, Beth. Let's play The Weakest Link. The first question is for £20. Start the clock. Beth, in the nursery rhyme, Little Jack Horner pulled out a plum from what kind of pie?
Plum pie.
Christmas pie. Jeff, a moggy is a slang word for which domesticated pet?
A cat.
Correct. Lindsay, according to legend, what shape was King Arthur's table?
Round.
Correct. Karen, complete the title of this long-running children's TV series, Blue what?
Pass.
Peter. Ian, in astrology, how many signs of the zodiac are there?
12.
Correct. Craig, The Prisoner of Azkaban and The Chamber of Secrets are books about which popular children's character?
Harry Potter.
Correct. Joanne, which word can mean a small immature plant or to fire a gun?
Shoot.
Correct. Carol, what type of animal lives in a dray?
Squirrel.
Correct. Les, which famous musical and film is set in Rydal High School?
Pass.
Greece. Beth, in biology, how many kidneys are there normally in the human body?
2.
Correct. Jeff, in food, for which ingredient does the B stand in a BLT sandwich?
Bacon.
Correct. Lindsay, in TV, Richard Beckinsale played the character Godber in which comedy series set inside a prison?
Porridge.
Correct. Karen, in maths, what is 25 multiplied by 6?
300.
150. Ian, in the animal kingdom, what type of creature is a cottontail?
Bird.
A rabbit. Craig, in food, what Y is a semi-solid dairy product usually made from milk fermented with bacteria?
Yogurt.
Correct. Joanne, what G specifically is the study of the Earth's origin, structure and its rocks and minerals?
Pass.
Geology. Carol, introduced in 1985, Clyde Sinclair's three-wheeled vehicle powered by a washing machine motor and rechargeable batteries was known as the C what?
C5.
Correct. Les, which cartoon character first appeared in the 1920s and was accompanied on his adventures by a dog called Snowy?
Tintin.
Correct. Beth, in the human body, what M is the name given to the means by which the brain stores and retrieves information?
Memory.
Correct. Jeff,
Bank.
which American actor who starred in the 1982 film An Officer and a Gentleman was once married to the supermodel Cindy Crawford?
Gear.
Richard Gere. Correct. Lindsay, what P was the name given to animal skins which were used to write on in medieval times?
Pelts.
Parchment. Karen, in music, who duetted with George Michael on the 1991 hit single Don't Let the Sun Go Down on Me?
Elton John.
Correct. Ian, in food, what B is the common name widely applied to many plants of the legume family?
Beans.
Correct. Craig, streetcar is the American name for what type of electric passenger vehicle?
Tram.
Correct. Joanne, according to the proverb, every what tells a story?
Sorry, I didn't hear the beginning.
According to the proverb, every what tells a story?
Face.
Picture. Carol, in which English county is the town of Glastonbury?
In Somerset.
Correct. Les,
Bank.
what F is a non-woven fabric made by... Time is up. I cannot complete the question. You won £120. Possibly one of the lowest first rounds we have ever experienced on The Weakest Link. Right, decision time. when you weed out the least worthy, a difficult choice. Is anyone or is everyone appearing less than intelligent? Who might it be unwise to keep on the team? One of you is about to leave with nothing. It's time to vote off the weakest link.
After a disappointing first round, Jeff is the strongest link. The weakest link is Karen, according to the statistics. But will the others have picked up on this?
Okay, voting over, it's time to reveal who you think is the weakest link.
Karen.
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 Joanne.
Les.
Joanne.
Joanne.
Karen.
Joanne, why Karen?
I just remember her getting a couple of questions wrong. I know I did as well.
Yes, oh, you managed to realise that. Jeff, not happy with Karen?
She got a couple of questions wrong and somebody had to go. It was between Karen and Joanne.
Right. Carol, why Karen?
She's a very nice lady, but having young children, I would have thought she'd have got the Blue Peter question right.
Right. Can't add up?
No.
Never heard of Blue Peter?
My children will kill me.
You are the weakest link.
I think it's nerves that get you. You don't realise how nervous you're going to feel. You know, your hands are shaking and you don't think that that's going to happen to you. And that's where all the answers just go completely out of your head. I think Joanne should probably go next because I think she got the same number of questions wrong as I did, and she also lost some money for the team.
Round 2, and of the £1,000 you could have won, you've put a pathetic 120 into the kitty. It's a wonder half of you bothered to make the journey. 8 left. We are now taking 10 seconds off the clock. We'll start with the strongest link from the last round. That's Jeff. Let's play the weakest link. Start the clock. Jeff, in food, is soy sauce produced from soya beans?
Yes.
Correct. Lindsay, in nature, what F is a common evergreen tree?
Fir tree.
Correct. Ian, in botany, what P is the part of a plant which is usually absent from wind-pollinated flowers?
Petal.
Correct. Craig, in TV, which actor and member of the 1980s pop group Spandau Ballet plays the role of Steve Owen in EastEnders?
Martin Kemp.
Correct. Joanne, the films of which famous pop artist include Sleep and Chelsea Girls?
I don't know.
Andy Warhol. Carol, Hindi is the most widely spoken native language in which country?
India.
Correct. Les, in film, who played the character Han Solo in the original Star Wars trilogy?
Mark Hamill.
Harrison Ford. Beth, in marine life, is the crayfish a fish or a crustacean?
Crustacean.
Correct. Jeff, which famous tennis tournament was instituted in 1877 by the All England Croquet and Lawn Tennis Club?
Wimbledon.
Correct. Lindsay, what F goes before scientist to mean specialists who give scientific evidence in legal cases?
Forensic.
Correct. Ian, the 1992 film White Men Can't Jump is based around which sport?
Don't know.
Basketball. Craig, what is the first name of the famous Spanish opera singer Carreras?
Jose.
Correct. Joanne, in education, for what does the letter E stand in the university college known as the LSE?
Economics.
Correct. Carol, what is the 23rd letter of the English alphabet?
U.
W. Les, which actor played the character Baldrick in the TV comedy series Blackadder?
Pass.
Tony Robinson. Beth, what name is given to a member of a highly trained military unit and is also the name of a 1985 film starring Arnold Schwarzenegger?
Pass.
Commando. Jeff, in literature, who wrote the year 2000 novel Whatever Love Means, Frank Skinner or David Baddiel?
David Baddiel.
Correct. Lindsay, in the children's book The Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe, who is befriended by the White Witch?
Don't know.
Edmund. Ian, the 1979 film Quadrophenia was set in which decade?
1960s.
In the 1960s, correct. Craig,
Bank.
in British politics, which party was led by Benjamin Disraeli?
The Conservative.
Correct. Joanne, in pop music, what's the surname of Elvis, the English singer and songwriter born Declan McManus?
Elvis Costello.
Correct. Carol, what A is the word used to describe a fear of heights?
I don't know.
Acrophobia. Les, in what year was Radio 1 launched in the UK, 1967 or 1973?
67.
Correct. Beth.
Bank.
In computer technology, what H is a person who gains unauthorised access to a computer system? Time is up. Hacker, you're quite right, is the correct answer. And you did even worse in that round than the first round. You managed to bank £40. Who needs to go? Get rid of the rubbish, hold on to the hopeful. One of you is about to leave with nothing. It's time to vote off the weakest link.
After a disastrous round, Craig is the strongest link statistically. The weakest link is Carol, but will the voting follow the facts?
OK, voting over, it's time to reveal who you think is the weakest link.
Joanne.
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 Les.
Joanne.
Joanne.
Carol.
Craig, how's it going for you?
It's going fine.
Not difficult when everyone else is so stupid.
It certainly isn't.
Have you heard of banking?
I have, yes.
Good. Why Joanne?
Well, I thought she got away with it in the first round, but this time
You thought she was the weakest link?
I did.
Because she wasn't, was she, Carol?
No, I didn't eat my spinach this morning.
What's your job?
I'm retired.
What did you do before you retired?
Staff trainer for a major telephone company.
You weren't training people to think quickly, were you?
I was.
Really? Why Joanne?
She didn't leave me anything to bank.
Mind you, you didn't leave Les anything to bank much, did you?
No.
Well, Carol, you were the worst player statistically. But Joanne, with 6 votes, you are the weakest link.
I do feel a bit upset about being voted off when I wasn't the weakest link. I think the rest of the team voted me off because I hesitated to give my answer in that round, and in the previous round I got 2 wrong. I think Craig will be voted off next because he's becoming more and more nervous as the rounds are progressing.
Round 3, and of the £2,000 you could have won by now, you have banked 160. It is a very long time since we've had such a spectacularly stupid bunch of people here. You are down to 7 players. We're taking another 10 seconds off the clock. We start with the strongest link from the last round. That's Craig. Let's play the weakest link. Start the clock. Craig, what was the profession of Jess the Body Ventura before he became governor of Minnesota in 1998?
Wrestler.
Correct. Carol, what was the family name of Robert, King of Scots between 1306 and 1329?
I don't know.
Bruce. Les, what sea is a town in western France famous for its brandy distillation industry?
Calais.
Cognac. Beth, in the human eye, which cells enable us to see colours, rods or cones?
Cones.
Correct. Jeff, to which geological period of time does the Jura mountain range lend its name?
Jurassic.
Correct. Lindsay, in which European country would you find the River Shannon?
Ireland.
Correct. Ian, in DIY, flat and crosshead are both types of which tool?
Screwdriver.
Correct. Craig.
Bank.
In photography, what A is a measure of the width of the opening allowing light to enter a camera?
Aspect.
Aperture. Carol, in music, is a dirge more likely to be played at a wedding or a funeral?
A funeral.
Correct. Les, in sport, the feathers of which bird are used in the making of a shuttlecock?
Peacock.
Goose. Beth, would you find the constellation of Cassiopeia in the northern or southern sky?
Southern.
Northern. Jeff, in England, what P describes the area served by a local church?
Parish.
Correct. Lindsay, which Japanese city is home to the world's first John Lennon Museum?
Singapore.
Tokyo. Ian, Australia's Kakadu National Park was used as a location for which 1986 film starring Paul Hogan?
Crocodile Dundee.
Correct. Craig, what is the front of a boat called?
Bow.
Correct. Carol, in science at room temperature and standard pressure, is chlorine a solid, liquid or gas?
Solid.
Gas. Les, which well-known South African-born novelist had the first names John Ronald Reuel?
Don't know.
J.R.R. Tolkien. Beth, which American playwright wrote the 1964 play After the Fall, which many believed was based on his failed marriage to Marilyn Monroe?
I don't know.
Arthur Miller. Jeff, in biology, living organisms were originally divided into 2 simple groups known as the plant and animal what?
Kingdom.
Correct. Lindsay, in TV, name the Shakespearean-sounding Scottish Highland policeman played by Robert Carlyle.
Macbeth. Hamish Macbeth.
Correct. Ian, in the animal kingdom, is a baboon classed as an ape?
Yes.
No. Craig.
Bank.
What is the name of the famous deep, steep wall canyon in northwestern Arizona?
Grand Canyon.
Correct. Carol, what actor played the character Frank Drebin in the Naked Gun films?
Leslie Nielsen.
Correct.
Bank.
Les, which English boxer nicknamed the Dark Destroyer?
Nigel Benn.
It's the correct answer, Nigel Benn, but you're out of time. And you did slightly better in that round. You banked £300. Those desperately clinging on should be put out of their misery. Dump the dunce, stitch the ditherer. It's time to vote off the weakest link.
Jeff is the strongest link for the second time. Les is the weakest link as he failed to answer any questions correctly. But how will the voting go?
Voting over, it's time to reveal who you think is the weakest link.
Les.
Lindsay.
Carol.
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 Les.
Carol.
Beth, remind us what you do.
I'm a student.
Studying what?
Theology.
Just got the one question right in that last round.
I did, but I have done relatively well in the other rounds, thankfully.
Why Carol?
Because I thought she was the weakest link and she got numerous questions wrong in other rounds. Not necessarily this round, but in other rounds.
All right, we've had enough of you, thank you. Lindsay, what do you do?
I'm a college administrator.
Are you? Doesn't involve any geography, does it?
No, luckily, top of the street and I'm at work.
Right. Because you think Singapore is in Japan?
I haven't got a clue about geography. No.
Why Carol?
A couple of questions wrong, hesitant. It's getting more difficult now to choose.
You thought she was the weakest link, did you? She wasn't, was she, Les?
I wouldn't have thought so, no.
No. Because Les, who thinks shuttlecocks are made from peacock feathers, statistically was the worst player. But Carol, the speed at which you think has depressed them all. The team have decided you are the weakest link.
Jeff is definitely driving the show. In team talks before the recording, he was definitely the one trying to tell us all what to do, how to bank, when to bank, as though we couldn't think for ourselves. I would least like Jeff to win, simply because he is perfectly certain that he will do.
Round 4, £460 banked so far. There are 6 of you left. We are taking another 10 seconds off the clock. You now have only 2.5 minutes. We'll start with the strongest link from the last round. That's Jeff. Let's play the weakest link. Start the clock. Jeff, in which British city is the Guildhall School of Music and Drama?
London.
Correct. Lindsay, in nature, what ale is the common name for a climbing plant of the cucumber family that can be used as a sponge?
Don't know.
Loofah. Ian, in film, what was the stage name of the comic Roscoe Arbuckle, who died in 1933?
Fatty Arbuckle.
Correct. Craig, in politics, was François Mitterrand president or prime minister of France?
President.
Correct.
Bank.
Les, in 1971, which American tennis player became the first female athlete to win $100,000 in a single year?
Billie Jean King.
Correct. Beth, Denmark's principal airport is nearest which city?
Helsinki.
Copenhagen. Jeff, in pop music, what is the surname of Jimmy, the Scottish lead singer with the 1980s band Bronski Beat and the Communards?
Pass.
Somerville. Lindsay, in the human body, one of the roles of the lungs is to remove excess what from the blood?
Carbon dioxide.
Correct. Ian, in global meteorology, which pole has the least sunlight per year?
North Pole.
South Pole. Craig, in nature, is the potato more closely related to the tomato or leek?
Leek.
Tomato. Les, in football, which Merseyside club appeared in 4 FA Cup finals in the 80s but only won 1?
Everton.
Correct. Beth, in music, what O is a keyboard instrument in which air blown by bellows vibrates within tuned pipes to produce sound?
An organ.
Correct. Jeff,
Bank.
is it considered lucky or unlucky to whistle in a theatre?
Unlucky.
Correct. Lindsay, In religion, what T refers to the two main sections of the Christian Bible and means covenant or agreement?
Testament.
Correct, Ian. What was the name of Mel Brooks' 1974 spoof western starring Gene Wilder?
Blazing Saddles.
Correct, Craig.
Bank.
In human biology, what is the tympanic membrane found in the ear more commonly known as?
Eardrum.
Correct, Les. What M is a city and chief seaport of Kenya?
Mombasa.
Correct, Beth. Who
Bank.
destroyed Rome in 455 AD? Vandals or hooligans?
Vandals.
Correct, Jeff.
Bank.
In a bakery, how much would you pay for 3 baguettes if they cost 85p each?
£2.55.
Correct, Lindsay. Which V is a town in northern France developed around the 17th century palace built by Louis XIV?
Versailles.
Correct, Ian. In which American sport would you use the terms at-bats, RBIs and double plays?
Baseball.
Correct, Craig.
Bank.
Which pasta dish is the favourite food of the comic strip cat Garfield? Time is up. The correct answer was lasagna. You banked £370, but whose time is up? Who needs to rethink the difference between their ambition and their talent when it comes to general knowledge? Eject the idiot. It's time to vote off the weakest link.
Having survived the last vote, Les has gone from weakest link to strongest link. Beth is the weakest link statistically. But who will lose out in the vote?
Voting over, it's time to reveal who you think is the weakest link.
Beth.
Les.
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 Craig.
Mm-hmm.
Why Les?
Well, I thought that round everyone was kind of similar, so I went on previous rounds, and I'm afraid I thought Les was the weakest link.
Well, he wasn't the weakest link, was he, Beth?
I don't know. I thought he was.
Where are you a student?
Birmingham
Birmingham.
University.
It's got its work cut out, hasn't it?
Absolutely.
Statistically, you were the worst player. But Les, what is it you do?
Courier driver.
Good. So you'll have no difficulty finding your way out. With 5 votes, you are the weakest link. Goodbye.
I think the team voted me off because of tactics. I think that they thought that I might become a threat later on after I warmed up a bit. I think Beth should be voted off next. I think she was the weakest link in the previous round and she deserves to go.
Round 5, your total is £830. There are 5 of you left, another 10 seconds coming off the time. In your wisdom, you voted off the strongest link, so we start with the second strongest link from the last round. That's Jeff. Let's play the weakest link. Start the clock. Jeff, in biology, what R describes anything pertaining to the kidneys?
Renal.
Correct. Lindsay, which famous rapper and actor plays Muhammad Ali in the 2001 film Ali?
Will Smith.
Correct. Ian, which Welsh-born actor starred in the 1993 film Shadowlands?
Anthony Hopkins.
Correct. Craig, in theatre, an open-air Shakespeare festival is held in Central Park in which American city?
New York.
Correct. Beth, if a train travels 180 miles in 3 hours, what's the average speed per hour?
60 miles per hour.
Correct. Jeff, the Cherokee people are indigenous to which continent?
America.
North America. I can't accept America. Lindsay, in medicine, which human organ was successfully transplanted for the first time in 1963?
Heart.
Liver. Ian, in the animal kingdom, does a dormouse have a tail?
Yes.
Correct. Craig, in film, which star of The Untouchables made his debut as a director in 1993 with A Bronx Tale?
Robert De Niro.
Correct. Beth, what innovative change did John Harwood make to watches in 1923?
He introduced the battery.
No self-winding. Jeff, Bermuda was discovered by the Spaniard Juan Bermudez in which century, 15th or 16th?
15th.
16th. Lindsay, in which decade did the Hooverville shanty town spring up in cities across the United States?
30s.
Correct. Ian, in American sport, for what do the initials NHL stand?
Don't know.
National Hockey League. Craig, in geography, on which continent is the Republic of Uzbekistan?
Asia.
Correct. Beth, in politics, what's the first name of the British diplomat and politician whose official title is Lord Hurd of Westwall?
Irvin.
Douglas. Jeff, in science, are dark matte surfaces good or bad absorbers of radiation?
Good.
Correct. Lindsay, in sport, what nationality is the rally driver Tommy McKinnon?
Finnish.
Correct, Ian. Which Scandinavian playwright wrote A Doll's House?
Ibsen.
Correct, Craig.
Bank.
What eye is the name given to the distinguishing symbols of emblems worn by members of the military?
Insignia.
Correct, Beth. In football, which question of sport team captain has won 60 caps for Scotland?
Ali McCoist.
Correct, Jeff. You banked just in time. Thank goodness. In total, you put into your kitty £140. Who now is completely, utterly out of their depths? It's time to vote off the weakest link.
Craig is the strongest link as he answered all of his questions correctly. Jeff is the weakest link, but will his earlier good form be enough to save him when it comes to the vote?
Voting over, it's time to reveal who you think is the weakest link.
Ian.
Beth.
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 Ian.
Ian, why Beth?
I thought she did it.
Jeff, what do you do?
Police officer.
Do your skills involve being able to count up to 4?
Yes.
So you'd understand it if I said you got 2 questions right and 2 questions wrong?
Yes.
And would you understand it if I told you that you were the worst player statistically?
For that round, yes, I would agree.
Right. Beth, you're a student at Birmingham University.
Yes.
Studying theology.
Yes.
Did you choose it because it was the easiest course?
I changed it because it was an easier course.
Right, just as well, really.
Exactly.
And when you grow up, what do you want to do?
I'd like to be a journalist.
Would you? Even I am speechless at that suggestion. Jeff, you were the worst player, but Beth, with 3 votes, you are the weakest link.
I think I was nominated because I'm young, I'm a student, and I was quite an easy target. I don't have a fantastic general knowledge base, and I think the other team players picked up on that. I would really like to see Craig winning because he's a nice bloke, he's got very good general knowledge, and he gets on with the rest of the teammates.
Round 6 and we soldier on. You've got £970 so far. There are 4 of you left, including the policeman, who to our certain knowledge can at least count up to 4. We are cutting another 10 seconds from your time. We start with the strongest link from the last round. That's Craig. Let's play the weakest link. Start the clock. Craig, in Sikhism, is the Amrit Pahul a rite of passage ceremony for men, women, or both?
Both.
Correct. Jeff, which actor played the character Rico Razzo Rizzo in the 1969 film Midnight Cowboy?
Dustin Hoffman.
Correct. Lindsay, in economics, in what decade was the full gold standard abandoned in Great Britain?
20s.
1930s. Ian, in which English county would you find the city of Chester?
Cheshire.
Correct. Craig, in literature, what is the first name of Seth, author of the 1986 novel The Golden Gate?
Vikram.
Correct. Jeff, complete the title of the following Joseph Conrad novel under Western what?
Skies.
Eyes. Lindsay, in sport, which Italian city has football teams called AC and Internazionale?
Milan.
Correct. Ian, Anarin Bevan resigned as Minister of Labour in 1951 over the imposition of charges for false teeth and what else?
Eye tests.
Spectacles. Craig, in Greek mythology, Cadmus was a Phoenician prince who founded which Greek city?
Athens.
Thebes. Jeff, the US state of North Dakota borders which country?
Canada.
Correct. Lindsay, the city of Genoa is a port on which sea?
Mediterranean.
Correct. Ian, in music, is the Italian term presto an instruction to play fast or slow?
Fast.
Correct. Craig.
Bank.
In literature, the Yahoos are characters in which satire by Jonathan Swift?
Gulliver's Travels.
Correct. Jeff, in which county are the towns of Sherborne, Wimborne, Minster and Blandford Forum?
Dorset.
Correct. Lindsay, in America, what is the name of the town 14 miles northeast of Boston famous for its historic witch trials?
Salem.
Correct, Ian.
Bank.
French fashion designer Jean-Paul Gaultier designed the famous bustiers worn by which pop star for her world tour of the early 90s?
Madonna.
Correct, Craig. In which Scottish region are the towns of St Andrews and Dunfermline?
Lothian.
Fife. Jeff, on a standard dartboard, what's the highest score that can be achieved within a single dart?
50.
Time is up, and the correct answer is 60. You banked £200. Who is well past their best? Root out the rubbish. And my goodness, there's a lot of it. It's time to vote off the weakest link.
Ian is the strongest link statistically. Craig has gone from strongest to weakest link, although he did bank money for the team. But will the others have noticed?
Voting over, it's time to reveal who you think is the weakest link.
Craig.
Craig.
Jeff.
Jeff.
Right, we have a tie team. Craig and Jeff, 2 votes each. Craig, why Jeff?
I thought that round again, everyone was very similar, but going on the last round. And he started off well, but he seems to be slowing down, I'm afraid.
You thought he was the weakest link, did you?
Mm-hmm.
Jeff, why Craig?
I thought Craig got a few wrong there, as we all did.
Right. Well, when the vote is tied, the strongest link has to cast the deciding vote. Ian, you voted for Jeff. Statistically, he was not the weakest link. Craig was. Now, you can stick with Jeff, change your mind. Which do you prefer?
I think I'll stick with Jeff.
Why?
Because of the last round, mainly. He should have gone last time, but we didn't realise he was the weakest link last time.
Right. Jeff, your sins have caught up with you. Being able to count to 4 and being in the police force was not enough. Ian's had enough. You are the weakest link. Goodbye.
I was disappointed at being voted off by Ian and Craig. They're both good competitors, but it was tactical voting here. And I think they'll try and vote Lindsay off next. I would least like Ian to win because he voted me off when quite clearly I shouldn't have been voted off.
Round 7, and despite Team Your phobia about banking, you finally managed to get over the £1,000. You have 1,170 in the kitty. 3 of you left, another 10 seconds off the clock. We start with the strongest link from the last round, that's Ian. Let's play the weakest link. Start the clock. Ian, on the banks of the Mississippi River, Baton Rouge is the capital of which US state?
Louisiana.
Correct, Craig. Which famous British novelist worked as a war correspondent for the BBC during World War II?
Ian Fleming.
George Orwell. Lindsay, in the animal kingdom, how many eyes does a honeybee have, 5 or 10?
5.
Correct. Ian, the former Soviet President Mikhail Gorbachev was born in which decade?
The 1930s.
Correct, Craig.
Bank.
In Shakespeare's Troilus and Cressida, who did Paris seduce, causing the Greeks and Trojans to go to war?
Helen of Troy.
Correct. Lindsay, in music, how many beats in a bar does a waltz usually have?
4.
3. Ian, in history, the Rye House plot of 1683 was a conspiracy to kill which English king for his Roman Catholic leanings?
James II.
Charles II. Craig, in chemistry, what H is the gas whose atom is comprised of 1 proton and 1 electron?
Hydrogen.
Correct. Lindsay, which British comedian had a 1975 UK top 10 hit with Funky Moped?
Billy Connolly.
Jasper Carrot. Ian, in politics, following the death of Anthony Crossland in 1977, did David Steele or David Owen become Foreign Secretary?
David Owen.
Correct. Craig, England and which other country were united by the 1707 Act of Union?
USA.
Scotland. Lindsay, in UK geography, Leicester stands on which river?
Don't know.
The River Soar. Ian, in pop music, in which year of the 90s did Robbie Williams release his hit single Millennium?
1990s.
1998. Craig, which comic strip cat was created by Otto Mesmer and Pat Sullivan in 1919?
Garfield.
Felix. Lindsay, in nature, by what name are gastropods more commonly known?
Seed pods.
Snails. Ian, in which year did the Labour Representation Committee change their name to the Labour Party, 1906 or 1912?
1906.
Correct. Craig.
Bank.
In which outdoor activity is the method of ledgering sometimes employed? Time is up. The correct answer is angling, and you put into the kitty £70. Now, in round 8, you get the chance to treble what you bank. assuming that is you're capable of banking anything. That means in the next round, potentially there's £3,000 to be won. The question is, who is even more rubbish than the other two? It's time to vote off the weakest link.
Ian is the strongest link again as he answered the most questions correctly. Lindsay only answered one question correctly, which makes her the weakest link. But at this crucial stage of the game, how will the voting go?
Voting over, it's time to reveal who you think is the weakest link.
Craig.
Lindsay.
Lindsay.
Craig, why Lindsay? Didn't want a woman in the end, did you?
No, not at all. I just thought that she didn't get any questions right in that round, I think.
She did, actually. She got one right.
Okay.
And you got 3 wrong.
I got some right as well, though.
Ian, why Lindsay? Did you think she was too hesitant?
Perhaps.
Because you're very quick, aren't you?
Sometimes.
Lindsay, the men want to fight it out, but statistically you were the worst player. My goodness, it's difficult to know with this team. With 2 votes, you are the weakest link.
I found Anne to be quite intimidating, a little bit evil, if anything. The way that she stared at you throughout the game, and she reminded me possibly of the horrible headmistress from the Roald Dahl book Matilda, where she actually gets hold of people and swings them around by the hair and throws them over the fence.
Round 8, you've got £1,240 so far. There are 2 of you left, Ian and Craig. You have only 90 seconds, but whatever you win in this round will be trebled and added to your total to make up your final prize money. So £3,000 is at stake in this round. We start with the strongest link from the last round, that's Ian. Let's play the weakest link. Start the clock. Ian, in literature, in which century did the poet John Milton live and work?
17th.
Correct, Craig.
Bank.
In the children's TV cartoon series, what was the name of the female Smurf?
Pass.
Smurfette. Ian, what is a Germanic tribe that conquered most of England with the Saxons in the 5th century AD?
Angles.
Correct, Craig.
Bank.
Which famous English nurse was named after the Italian city in which she was born in 1820?
Florence Nightingale.
Correct, Ian. Which American state used to be known as the Sandwich Islands?
Hawaii.
Correct, Craig.
Bank.
In politics, what's the first name of the former Liberal Democrat leader, Paddy Ashdown? Jeremy or Anthony?
Jeremy.
Correct, Ian. In the Grand National Steeplechase, a horse must jump over how many fences to complete a race? 10, 20 or 30?
30.
Correct, Craig.
Bank.
In which year was poison gas first used in modern warfare, 1912 or 1915?
1915.
Correct, Ian.
Bank.
In geography, which market town in West Sussex on the River Arun has an 11th century castle and a 19th century Roman Catholic cathedral?
Don't know.
Arundel. Craig. Atom Heart Mother was the first UK #1 album for which band in 1970?
Pink Floyd.
Correct, Ian. Which football club shares Selhurst Park Stadium with Crystal Palace?
Don't know.
Wimbledon. Craig. A company making a friendly counterbid for a company which is the target of a hostile takeover bid is known as a white what?
Don't know.
Knight. Ian. Which famous film awards ceremony took place? Time is up. I cannot complete the question. You banked £160. We'll treble that and add it to the winnings for the previous rounds. That means prize money today of £1,720. But of course, only one of you can take that money away, so now you will be playing against each other head to head. I'll ask alternate questions best of 5. Whoever answers the most correctly wins. It's as simple as that. If there's a tie after 5, we'll go for sudden death until we have a winner. So, Ian and Craig, for £1,720, let's play the weakest link. Craig, as the strongest link in the last round, you have the choice of who goes first.
I'll go first.
Craig, which rock legend played the guitar solo on the Beatles' song While My Guitar Gently Weeps?
Eric Clapton.
That is the correct answer. Ian, in football, which former England manager took over from Ruud Gullit at Newcastle in 1999?
Bobby Robson.
That is the correct answer. Craig. The Battle of Goose Green took place during which 20th century conflict?
Falklands War.
That is the correct answer. Ian. Which fruit-powered superhero was first seen in the Nutty comic book?
Nutty Professor.
No, the correct answer is Bananaman. Craig. In geography, in which English county is the Forest of Bowland?
Norfolk.
Correct answer is Lancashire. Ian, to draw level. What name was later given to the first successful powered aeroplane developed by the Wright brothers in 1903 after the town near which it was tested?
Spirit of St. Louis.
The correct answer is Kitty Hawk. Craig. Which King of Britain and Ireland was executed on charges of high treason in 1649?
Charles I.
That is the correct answer. Ian, you need to answer this question correctly to remain in the game. What was the first name of the musician and variety show host from the 1950s who would cry "wakey wakey" at the start of his band show?
Billy Cotton.
That is the correct answer. Craig, if you answer this question correctly, you have won, so for £1,720. Inaugurated in 1860, which American mail service used relays of horsemen between Missouri and California?
Federal Express.
The correct answer is Pony Express. Ian, again, you need to answer this question correctly to remain in the game. Which Australian-born US actor starred as Fletcher Christian in the 1933 film In the Wake of the Bounty?
Mel Gibson.
The correct answer is Errol Flynn. That means, Craig, you are today's strongest link and you go away with £1,720. Ian, you leave with nothing. Winners again for the weakest link. Bye.
I realised I'd won right on the very last question because Ian paused, and I knew then that he was just going to have to guess the question, and I was willing him to get it wrong.
Well, I think I was the best player. I could have voted for Craig when there were only three of us, so I saved his bacon in a way.
I feel chuffed to bits. Can't believe it. Unbelievable.
The BBC has the